So the Anycubic Kobra 3 V2 combo turned up in the cave this week, and after my recent experience with the Kobra 3 Max, I have to say, I wasn't expecting much. And I was right, but I was also very wrong. But before we get into the meat of the video, the most important thing you need to know about this printer is that it's 240 quid. Or 340 quid if you grab it with the Ace Pro multi-filament drying box thing, and frankly you should, because it's incredible. I'll come to that. Mechanically the printer is pretty straightforward. It's a typical bed slinging printer with a build volume of 255 by 255 by 260 millimeters. At this point it's nothing revolutionary, but it's exactly what it needs to be. And the build quality is really good too. They've stiffened up the frame, put proper belt tensioners on it. The rollers that were previously plastic are now metal. The print head's been redesigned and the software's been improved. All good stuff. The print head now has a direct drive extruder, which is excellent. Simple is usually better. The magnetic bed is handy, and it's got a really neat little purge wipe, but don't get too excited because that features a little bit more work experience than trained professional. But it's balanced out by other things like the screen, which exists. That's about as good as I can say. I'm not sure why in 2025, but it has a multi-tap text input system which frankly should have disappeared in the 90s when that generation of mobile phones vanished. Come on, Anycubic, do better. Luckily though, you won't have to use it very much because the functionality of the screen is pretty limited. I do want to say again though that this printer is 240 quid. It's not aimed at the flagship end of the market, it's very much the budget end. It's an out-of-the-box, print-and-go beginner experience, and for that price, well, let's just bear that price in mind as we're talking about this sort of stuff. Because the printer does have some very cool features. Like that purge wipe, for example. The way this works is, it's got a little magnet, and as the print head homes to the purge wipe side of the printer, that magnet clicks on, causes the purge wipe to be pulled across. Then the filament's purged, and as the printer moves away, it causes the purge wipe to ping across and eject from the printer. That's a really clever, simple implementation. Unfortunately though, the whole purpose of a purge wipe is to wipe the nozzle at the end of a purge. And well, look at that gap between the nozzle and the wipe itself. Why is that important? If you're running a bed leveling on your printer, having a little bit of gunk on the end of your nozzle will mean that the nozzle thinks the print head is higher than it is, and so the level of your bed will be inaccurate. If it's too low, then the nozzle will grind over that lower layer and give you a really rough finish, if indeed it prints at all. And if it's too high, well, you're just going to get spaghetti printing in midair, or at the very best, poor layer adhesion. Thinking back, I had that fault a lot in the Anycubic Kobra 3 Max, and I'm now going to have to go back to that printer and check whether that actually was the fault, because it might be. Now there's a really quick, simple fix to this in that once you've done your initial purge on your printer, simply pause it, give the nozzle a quick wipe, and you're always going to get an accurate bed leveling. But what's the point of having an automatic feature if you then have to go in manually? And it doesn't help you mid-print if you're using multicolor printing, where you have a purge and then it moves on to the next color. You've either got to always be there to wipe the printer, or you've just got to hope that it doesn't fail. Now in my tests so far it hasn't failed, but it's just another unknown variable, something to worry about. Now I will say I've only had decent results from this printer so far. No fails, no clogs, no spaghetti, anything like that. So that's my experience of the printer so far, and the quality is also pretty good too. It prints quickly, it prints decent quality models, don't get me wrong, they're not resin level, but they are good for terrain, basic maybe scatter troops across your boards, storage systems, that sort of stuff. Stuff where the quality isn't mega important. I would be absolutely fine using this. But as ever, I'm going to do some more long-term tests on these like I do with all my printers, so stay tuned to the channel and make sure you subscribe if you want to see those. Now let's talk about the Ace Pro, because the printer we're reviewing here is a Kobra 3 V2 combo, which means it comes with the Ace Pro in the box. Now the Ace Pro is just over 100 quid if you buy it in the combo bundle, and comes with 4 filament slots. Inbuilt into the combo is a drying feature, which I'm aware Fohammer's recently reviewed and has some flaws, namely that it doesn't vent out the humid air, and so just recirculates. So as soon as you turn the thing off, all that moisture is going to suck back into the filament. But that aside, when the filament dryer is on, this is a really cool functional thing. But I think the main use for a filament changer like this is actually it completely eliminates the fact that you have to change and load different filaments. It makes that whole process significantly easier. Now I can just have my 4 favourite filaments loaded into the Ace Pro and they're just ready to go. I just select the colour I want and print. Now it's worth bearing in mind that if you want to print 8 colours, and you can with the Ace Pro system, you do need to select that at checkout if that's something you want to do. Or if you already have an Ace Pro unit around, like I do, you need to buy the additional $13.99 8 colour hub, which you can do at checkout. Personally though, for me, multicolour printing on this style of printer generates way too much plastic waste to justify it. I mean, more purge waste than the actual filaments used to make the thing. It's just not really where it needs to be at the moment. So I plan to use the Kobra 3 as a single filament printer, but use the Ace Pro system to have all my filaments stored in to make the changing filaments nice and simple. When it comes to software, I've actually covered Anycubic Slicer Next pretty extensively in a few other videos of this one, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. But needless to say that like all Anycubic printers, they want you to use their cloud software. You have to use Anycubic Slicer Next when you do it, and they still want you to use their app too. All of that's fine. Frankly, it's pretty expected at this day and age. It all works okay, and it does what you need it to do. Anycubic Slicer Next is essentially just a reskinned Orca, and it's got most of the functionality that's built into that brilliant software already. Unfortunately though, Anycubic Slicer Next is the only way to get the network functionalities for the printer, so if you want to control it from your computer or the app or desktop, you have to use Anycubic Slicer Next. For example, if you want to use the webcam, which comes as standard with the printer, but doesn't come with the housing, you have to print that yourself. But I actually don't mind that. It's a cool little first print to do on the printer to test it all. I printed mine with this natty little Anycubic blue filament, which I really like. And like I say, it works first time. I mocked my camera housing. It's quite satisfying to think that you printed the parts yourself. So yeah, that's cool. The camera itself does work really nicely and it's simple to install, but weirdly, I can't work out a time-lapse feature. So I ended up screenshotting this on my computer instead. If anyone knows a fix for the time-lapse software and Anycubic software, do please let me know in the comments, that'd be really helpful. The other thing I'll mention with the software is other creators have highlighted security issues arising from some of the coding. Now, I don't understand this sort of stuff. I can barely work email at this point, but it's something to bear in mind, and I'll link some videos down below, particularly one made by Made with Layers, which goes into a little bit more detail about this, so if that's your bag, do go and check that out. Link down in the description below. He even talks about the ability to jailbreak this and upgrade it and mod it and tweak it, but that's not my bag, so I'm going to leave that to you clever folks. So who is this printer for? Well, if you're after an affordable, work out the box 3D printer, this is going to be a pretty good option. Is it the market leader? No. Accolade belongs to Bamboo Labs at this point. But if you don't mind a little bit of tinkering here and there, this printer is really solid. It does work. Does everything you need to do for a very decent price. I would have no hesitation recommending it. The quality of these printers now is just going up and up and up, and the baseline features of these things are just so much higher than they were even a year ago. Is it a flagship printer? No. It's not going to be your dream house, it's more like a fixer-upper. It'll annoy you a bit, it'll surprise you, but it'll also get the job done. So for me, the Kobra 3 V2 combo has been a lot of fun. If you bundle it with the incredible Ace Pro unit, it becomes a proper little convenient to use workhorse. It is worth mentioning though that the Bamboo Labs A1 Mini is only £20 more than this printer, and so if you're an absolute beginner or you just don't want any hassle, any tinkering, then I'd probably steer you down that route. But if you're up for a bit of tinkering, or perhaps you even enjoy that sort of stuff, then I think the Kobra 3 would be a better shout. And hey, it hasn't clogged yet, which is a lot better than some of the printers I've owned. If you do want to grab one, please use the affiliate codes down below. The cash I get from that, I put all back into the channel and helps me run free community challenges, give away free STLs each month with my newsletter. If you're not signed up to the newsletter, you really should be. The link's down below, and every month I give away a free STL file, along with a load of news and community bits and pieces too. If you want to be more involved in the community, the link to the Discord is also down below. Honestly, the Discord community is one of the main reasons I do this channel. It's an absolutely fantastic place. We do regular painting challenges, I give away free miniatures, painting advice, all those sort of bits and pieces, or you can just come and hang out and chat with a load of cool people. It's entirely up to you. For everyone who is a member of that community or who supports me in any way whatsoever, thank you so much. You're basically the whole reason I do this. So, with that said, I've been James. This is RisingApe Minis, and I'll see you next time.